When a woman ignores a man, most men immediately assume rejection. Their mind rushes toward conclusions, their emotions begin to destabilize, and their behavior changes before reality has even been properly observed. Stoicism teaches that this reaction is not caused by the woman's behavior, but by the man's interpretation of it. The Stoics were clear that events themselves carry no meaning until the mind assigns one. In relationships, this misunderstanding is the source of nearly all suffering and nearly all self-sabotage. Ignoring, silence, distance, or reduced engagement are often interpreted as loss of interest. Sometimes that interpretation is correct. Many times it is not. Female psychology, like all human psychology, is far more complex than surface-level behavior. A Stoic man does not rush to label situations as good or bad. He observes patterns over time, not moments. This ability to observe without emotional reaction is the foundation of clarity. The first thing that must be understood is that silence is not always absence. In many cases, silence is regulation. When a woman begins to feel strong emotional pull toward a man, especially a man who is grounded and self-directed, she may unconsciously slow her engagement. This does not come from disinterest, but from internal conflict. Attraction creates vulnerability. Vulnerability creates uncertainty. Uncertainty often expresses itself as distance. Most men never reach this point because they destroy attraction before it has time to mature. They react to reduced attention by increasing pressure. They send more messages, ask more questions, demand clarity, or attempt to fix the distance. Stoicism identifies this behavior as a loss of self-command. The man hands control of his emotional state to external circumstances. The moment this happens, attraction weakens. A Stoic man understands that desire grows in space, not in suffocation. When a woman ignores him but still shows specific behaviors, it often signals that she is internally processing emotion rather than disengaging. The mistake most men make is assuming that interest must always be loud, obvious, and consistent. In reality, deep interest often expresses itself quietly. One of the clearest signs that a woman is developing strong feelings, even while appearing distant, is selective attention. She may not respond quickly or frequently, but when she does engage, her focus is precise. She remembers details. She references past conversations. She reacts emotionally to subtle things rather than surface-level stimuli. Stoicism teaches that attention is the truest form of investment. Where attention goes, emotion follows. Another important indicator is emotional leakage. Even when a woman attempts to maintain distance, emotion often escapes through tone, timing, or behavior. She may ask indirect questions about a man's life, react strongly to perceived competition, or show subtle concern about his absence. These reactions are not calculated. They are involuntary. A Stoic man notices without confronting. He allows emotion to reveal itself naturally rather than forcing clarity prematurely. The Stoics warned against demanding answers before reality has fully unfolded. Marcus Aurelius advised patience not as passivity but as strength. In romantic dynamics, patience prevents self-sabotage. When a woman is experiencing internal attraction conflict, pressure accelerates withdrawal. Calm presence allows resolution. Another sign often misunderstood is inconsistency. Many men interpret inconsistent communication as lack of interest. In truth, inconsistency often reflects internal tension. When attraction is shallow, behavior is predictable. When attraction is deep, behavior can become unstable as the mind attempts to regain control. Stoicism teaches that instability in others should not create instability within oneself. A man who remains steady while others fluctuate becomes a point of gravity. A woman who is losing interest becomes emotionally flat. A woman who is conflicted becomes emotionally inconsistent. This distinction is critical. Emotional flatness feels neutral and detached. Emotional inconsistency carries energy. Stoic observation allows a man to sense this difference without reacting impulsively. Another key behavior is indirect presence. A woman who ignores directly but maintains indirect awareness is often emotionally invested. She may watch stories, stay informed through mutual connections, or subtly insert herself into shared spaces without direct engagement. These behaviors are not conscious strategies. They are expressions of attachment restrained by hesitation. The Stoic man does not interpret these signs as permission to pursue harder. He does not escalate to win her over. He maintains his rhythm. Stoicism teaches rhythm over reaction. When a man disrupts his own rhythm to respond to another's uncertainty, he loses internal authority. Authority over oneself is the root of attraction. One of the most powerful Stoic principles in this context is acceptance of outcome. A man who is genuinely prepared to accept either outcome, connection or separation, radiates calm. This calm is not indifference. It is confidence without attachment. Female psychology responds strongly to this state because it removes pressure and creates emotional safety. When a woman senses that a man is not waiting anxiously for her decision, she is free to explore her feelings honestly. When she senses that a man's emotional stability depends on her response, she feels responsibility. Responsibility suppresses desire. Stoicism removes this burden by placing emotional responsibility back where it belongs, within the self. Another overlooked indicator of growing attachment is boundary awareness. A woman who is emotionally disengaged does not care about boundaries. A woman who is emotionally invested becomes more sensitive to them. She may test reactions, observe responses, or momentarily pull away to see if the man collapses or remains grounded. This is not manipulation. It is subconscious assessment of emotional safety. The Stoic man passes these moments not by strategy but by character. He does not chase reassurance. He does not punish distance. He does not withdraw resentfully. He continues living his life with consistency. Consistency communicates reliability. Reliability is attractive. It is important to understand that ignoring does not always mean disinterest, but it always demands self-control. Whether attraction exists or not, a man's response should be the same: composed, dignified, and self-directed. Stoicism teaches that correct action does not depend on desired outcomes. It depends on virtue and reason. Many men ruin potential connection by trying to force certainty. They ask questions they are not prepared to hear answers to. They demand clarity before clarity exists. Stoicism teaches that not everything needs immediate resolution. Some things resolve themselves when left undisturbed. A woman falling emotionally often experiences fear of loss of autonomy. Attraction threatens independence. Distance becomes a temporary defense. When a man responds to this defense with calm acceptance rather than pursuit, he communicates strength. Strength creates trust. Trust allows attraction to deepen. The greatest mistake a man can make in these moments is self-abandonment. Changing personality, increasing availability, or lowering standards to secure interest destroys polarity. Stoicism preserves polarity by anchoring identity internally. The man remains the same regardless of emotional weather. Ultimately, the question is not whether a woman is falling hard. The question is whether the man can remain stable enough to allow reality to reveal itself.